This is Motorcoach Travel News, MTN, from the American Bus Association. Here's Dan Ronan.
Welcome to the American Bus Association's Motorcoach Travel News. I'm Dan Ronan in Washington. We begin with breaking news. We now know where the ABA's next 3 marketplaces are going to be held. Of course, we'll all be together in just a few months in St. Louis for the 2015 event. Then in 2016, it's to Louisville, Kentucky, and of course, home to Churchill Downs Racetrack and the Kentucky Derby, and many other great places to visit. Now in 2017, the ABA has announced that Marketplace will be in Cleveland, Ohio, home to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, LeBron James, and many other great attractions. ABA President and CEO Peter Pantuso, that's quite a lineup of cities for the next 3 marketplaces. So Peter, tell me about Cleveland.
Well, yeah, we announced that in 2017, Marketplace is going to be in Cleveland, and what a fantastic destination. I mean, Cleveland is probably one of the hottest cities in the country right now. You cannot pick up a newspaper or a magazine without hearing about all the great things going on in Cleveland. It's obviously been a fantastic tourist destination. All of northeastern Ohio is. And when we go, obviously, to Marketplace at Cleveland, it's going to be a statewide event, but people are really going to be excited, and Cleveland's excited to have us there. But first, we've got a couple other marketplaces. Before that, in 2016, of course, we're going to be in Louisville, and this coming January, we're going to be in St. Louis. And I can tell you that St. Louis is ready for us. They've got everything down. They've got all the tours in place. They've got the evening events set. It's going to be one fabulous marketplace.
There's now been a letter that's been sent to Secretary Fox about some concerns that ABA and other transportation trade associations have. Tell me about that.
Yeah, we joined a coalition of about 10 other organizations, and we're sending a letter to Secretary Fox. In fact, we've sent the letter already. And the letter really lays out concerns we have at the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration with their scoring and the rating system. CSA is what it's commonly called, and then the SMS is the scoring system. And we think it's flawed. We think the information going into it isn't necessarily always accurate. We think that it gives misleading information to the customer. We think it has a really deleterious effect on a lot of small companies because they're getting inspected over and over again, and there's no kind of scalability to compare them versus a large company who might get inspected the same number of times, but because they've got 1,000 buses or 100 buses compared to somebody with 2, looks a little different in the scoring. So we think that FMCSA and the Secretary really need to address the CSA system. They need to improve it, and until they can do that, putting the information out to the public really is doing a disservice to the public as well as to the companies. The other thing we're seeing, although it's not in the letter and we hear about over and over again, are all the inspections that are going on. It used to be a company would hear from FMCSA on some kind of a regular basis, and they would come in, they would do an audit of their safety procedures and all the legal requirements, making sure the regulations are being followed. They're not doing that anymore. They've gone from doing audits to investigations. They're going in and investigating companies, thinking something's wrong, trying to prove something's wrong, and trying to put them on the hot seat and write them up. And we're finding some of the best, safest companies in the country are borderline conditional because of the actions that FMCSA has taken. We think that's got to change as well. We think that FMCSA should be more of a partner with the industry. They can do a much better job of getting unsafe companies off the road, but the practice that they're doing now just is unacceptable.
This is a time of year when many of us in the office have been out meeting with our coalition partners, and there's been a lot of activity there as well.
Yeah, the state associations are in full bloom, obviously, in the summer, as are some of our other partners as well. A couple of weeks ago, I was at Virginia, South Carolina, and North Carolina associations when they met together. Brandon Buchanan from our office just came back from NAMO, which also included then an add-on to the Louisiana, the Georgia, and the South Central meeting. We were at IMG a couple of weeks ago. The staff has just come back from CITA in the last couple of days. So, and Midwest Motorcoach Association had their meeting a couple of weeks ago. I was out there. So we've been hitting a lot of the state associations and some of our other partner associations like CITA and IMG.
A recent story on Washington, D.C. TV station WJLA, ABC 7, caught our attention. The driver of a non-ABA member Motorcoach company was operating his iPad while driving a group on a trip. Passengers on board recorded the driver's illegal activities. Here's more of the report from Channel 7 reporter Josie Stearman.
It was a reward trip to King's Dominion, but passengers got their thrill ride on this tour bus, watching their driver checking his iPad as they rolled down the road with his GPS just above the wheel.
You want to be really safe on those and make sure that you've got a good driver.
And a reputable company, but many riders say that's not what they got with America Bus and Limo Service. Multiple Yelp reviews tell people not to use the company, and we've got even more reasons. We dug through their federal safety reports and found they've got 2 fatal crashes in their file and have been flagged for intervention because of safety issues and failing to randomly test drivers for drugs and alcohol.
As you know, we at ABA take safety very seriously. So the next day, after we saw the story, we sent out this member alert to Motorcoach owners and operators to remind them about the rules and regulations concerning the use of smartphones and other devices. Almost every passenger on a Motorcoach these days has a smartphone, so tell your drivers to be always aware as they're driving, they're being monitored, because they are.
This coach runs on diesel, which is about 30% more efficient in its combustion than gasoline. But I know what you're thinking. Diesel isn't clean burning. But that's no longer true, because today's ultra-low sulfur diesel fuel is cleaner than ever. Check this out. See? It burns clean. All aboard the Green Highway.
MCI, ultimate curb appeal, uncompromising reliability.
It's time now for the Green Operator segment, sponsored by MCI. We know that Motorcoach travel is the most environmentally friendly form of transportation. And again this year, ABA and MCI want to salute the great work being done in the industry, promoting its environmental benefits. If you're proud of your company's efforts, you need to know about the upcoming Green Operator Award sponsored by MCI. It's a great opportunity to set yourself apart in the market and gives you a high-profile way to let your customers know about your green commitment. The award will be presented at the ABA's Marketplace in St. Louis in January. It was developed in cooperation with MCI, the University of Vermont, and ABA's environmental community to annually recognize and honor Motorcoach operators who are committed to leading their company when it comes to the environment. Last January, Megabus.com and H&L Charters were honored as the large and small carriers for their great environmental strides. There will be a lot more about the Green Operator Award coming up on future editions of MTN and on buses.org. And that's this edition of the American Bus Association's Motorcoach Travel News. I'm Dan Ronan in Washington. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you back here next month.